line of knowledge. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 So this chapter entitled "The Three Modes of Material Nature" is one in which I think most of us would be able to gain some deep appreciation for, because of the nature of what's going to be talked about. So, because the Bhagavad Gita is broken up into 5 sections, I want one person to name one of those 5 sections, so that we can share how much we've understood so far. So of the Bhagavad Gita, which is the discussion on the self, the contents are broken up into 5 sections. So I named one of them indirectly. So what is one of the topics of the Bhagavad Gita? Self, yes. The second, what?
Relationship to the nature.
Yes, modes of material nature.
Mind.
Yes, that's part of it. Yeah.
Nature.
Yeah.
The relationship to the
Godhead.
Godhead.
Is devotional service in there anywhere?
It's indirect, but
Indirectly.
Was consciousness something discussed?
Consciousness is discussed. So we named divinity, we named the self, we named modes of material nature. There's karma, that is also the 4th point, and then the last point is time. So time is explained. So this chapter entitled "The Modes of Material Nature" goes very deep into how these elements within this universe, unseeable elements, affect the consciousness, affect the mind, affect our sojourn in this material world. And because it's important to understand how this is relevant to us, we should, when we come to this yoga kind of experience, we hear things like, "You're not your body," or "This is not a permanent existence." And this is very important to note, because we put so much emphasis on that which is permanent, but nothing in this world is permanent except for change. Change is a permanent concept, whereas everything else outside of that is flickering. It's very temporary in its nature. These bodies, we remember when we were 2 years old, 3 years old. Now we're in 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and up. So these things are, we cannot hold on to anything except for our memories, and even our memories sometimes can fail us. So this discussion of the Bhagavad Gita is for us to be able to gain deeper insight towards this realm, the self, and if there is a divine being, what are the characteristics of that divine personality? How can they be recognized? So the Bhagavad Gita, of course, takes place where? On the battlefield. And why is that relevant to us right now? Yes, we're in a spiritual battlefield. We're fighting. Some of us are fighting so many things. Our mind. Most of us are fighting our mind. Because the mind...
We're on the battlefield with our own senses. So your body is the battlefield.
Yes. The body is the battlefield, the kshetra, the field of activities. So the last previous chapter, chapter 13, talked about this field of activity, which is called this body. And the satyagya, the knower of that field, which is the consciousness that was brought up earlier. But there's also supreme consciousness, which knows all the fields, not just this body, but all bodies. Not even just human bodies, but other species. Not even on just this planet, but other planets. Not even in this universe, but other universes. There's a supreme being that knows all these bodies. So the Bhagavad Gita is a discussion of this field of activity and how it interacts with this nature and how to disconnect that from that which binds us. So this chapter is about binding, the modes of material nature, which are called the gunas. So we'll start with text number 1 of the 14th chapter. Let me offer my respects to my teacher, Oma Gyana Timanandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Umilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. The reason why we offer these respects is because we know that in order to get where we are, we had to learn from somewhere and from someone. So we offer respect to that person or persons that have given us the knowledge which we have currently, in hopes of gaining more knowledge and more wisdom so that we can get out of this darkness of ignorance or not knowing. So text number 1, Max, do you mind reading text number 1? And then we'll go until we get to text number 4, and then we'll do the Sanskrit. So,
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, again, I shall declare to you the supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained supreme perfection.
Text number 2. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature like my own. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation or disturbed at the time of dissolution.
Text 3. The total material substance, called Brahman, is the source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all living beings, O son of Bharata.
so we'll do the Sanskrit. I'll start with the Sanskrit. Does anybody know how important Sanskrit is to one's mind and also the consciousness? Is there anybody that has any idea?
I think of it, I look at, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No.
I look at it as a purification process. Initially, didn't understand it, but there's something about it purifying the consciousness, just reading it. It's like ancient nectar, and over time it begins to seep in. So I find it very important, at least personally for me, to read the Sanskrit. Even when one doesn't understand it, read it. Eventually, it will become a part of you, and you'll understand the depth of it.
What are you going to say?
I was going to kind of say, along the same lines what she was going to say, just the essence of it is probably some type of divine. I just read, like we should just read it, or just pronunciate it. It has some type of divine essence to it. It'll change your consciousness.
So, from my understanding, because it's like one of the most original, like the oldest forms of language, each interject, like each frequency, each note holds a key that allows us to go through that transformation process.
That is very important. Everything everyone says is important. The potency of Sanskrit is that because vibrations matter, and we all understand like there's certain frequencies or certain, let's just leave it at frequencies, that are beneficial to the consciousness, to the body, even on a cellular level. There's also frequencies that help the consciousness of the soul, which operates at a higher frequency than this gross material nature. So Sanskrit, by its pronunciation, now mind you, no one here is a Sanskrit scholar, so you're getting the best of what we have. So, but Sanskrit in itself purifies the mind, even if one doesn't understand it. So as we chant this verse number 4, yes, we'll go word for word so you understand what it means, but the potency is that it will change the energy level within one's body. And you can tell the more you do it, even if it's on your own, how much it changes. your day-to-day experience. What to speak of when that same vibration is dovetailed in a spiritual, spiritually beneficial way. So, I'll start. Text number 4. Sarva yonishu kunteya.
Sarva yonishu kunteya.
Murtya sambhavanti yaha. Tasam brahma mahadyonir. Aham bijam pradapita. Sarva yoneshu kunteya. Murtya sambhavantiya. Tasam brahma mahadyonir. Aham bija pradapita. Sarva yoneshu kunteya. Murtya sambhavantiya. Tesam brahma mahadyonir. Aham bija pradapita. Jiggle, do you mind?
May not sound right.
Do it.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Murtaya sambhavatiya.
Murtyaya sambhavantiya.
Tasam brahma mahadyoni.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Aham bija pradapita.
Aham bija pradapita.
Sarvayonishu kunteya.
Sarvayonishu kunteya.
Murtaya sabhavatiya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Aham bija pradapita.
Aham bija pradapita.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Murtaya sambhavatiya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Aham bija pradapita.
Aham bija pradapita.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Aham bija pradapita.
Aham bija pradapita.
Sarvayonishu kanteya.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Aham bija pradapita.
Aham bija pradapita.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Sarvayonishu kaunteya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Murtaya sambhavantiya.
Asam brahma mahadyonir.
Tasam brahma mahadyonir.
Aham bija pradapita.
Aham bija pradapita. Okay, so we'll do word. Do you mind doing word for word?
Word for word, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sarva Yonishu,
Sarva Yonishu,
in all species of life.
in all species of life.
Konteya,
Konteya,
O son of Kunti,
O son of Kunti,
Morteya,
Murtaya,
forms,
forms,
Sambhavanti,
Sambhavanti,
they appear.
they appear.
Ya,
Ya,
which,
which,
Tasham,
Tesam,
of all of them.
of all of them.
Brahma,
Brahma,
the supreme.
the supreme.
Mahat Yoni,
Mahat Yoni,
source of birth in the material substance.
source of birth in the material substance.
Aham,
Aham, I,
Bija Prada,
Bija Pada,
the seed giving.
the seed giving.
Pita,
Pita,
father.
Father. Okay, so the translation. It should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature, and that I am the seed-giving Father. Mark, do you mind starting reading the two verses of two sentences, and then we'll go around.
Purport. In this verse, it is clearly explained that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is the original Father of all living entities. The living entities are combinations of the material nature and the spiritual nature.
Yeah.
Such living entities are seen not only on this planet, but on every planet, even on the highest, where Brahma is situated. Everywhere there are living entities. Within the earth there are living entities, even within water and within fire.
All these appearances are due to the mother, material nature, and Krishna's seed-giving process. The purport is that the material world is impregnated with living entities who come out in various forms at the time of creation according to their past deeds.
Okay, so this is quite deep. So one of the important aspects to remember when studying Vedic knowledge is that the divine being is considered as dual, both masculine and feminine. And so Krishna is explaining that this universe, the nature of this universe is feminine because it is the womb of material nature, which is impregnated by what Krishna says is glance. So Krishna's glance impregnates this universe with unlimited number of living entities. I don't know if we have any biologists here. Some, pseudo.
I'm not, but I saw something yesterday that directly relates to this. We found out recently through scientific studies that fog is alive.
Fog.
It has bacteria in it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Is that because there's bacteria in the air?
Well, they said it was like, it was native to the fog. They thought it might have came from the ground, but.
Did you hear that they found out that chickens basically transmute one element into another to make their eggshells?
So this is, yeah, so we, as we study more about the knowledge of the Bhagavad Gita, we understand that the scientists are still figuring out, like, there's living entities and things we never thought they were there. Maybe some of you all heard about, there's a type of, I don't know if it's a slug or some, it's in a slug family.
It's a gastropod.
Even better. Okay. So that can live very close to volcanic.
Yes, they
yes.
basically have little shells of
Yes.
volcanic.
Tardigrade.
Yes.
Huh?
Tardigrades.
Yes.
Keep saying words we don't know.
Yes.
Showing
I
up
think it was a
today.
sea creature of sorts.
So it can withstand such high temperature that most of us will melt.
Tardigrades can also survive vacuum space.
Oh,
Okay. Oh, thank you.
literally anywhere.
Yeah. So we have, so this is just within, as Srila Prabhupada mentions, within the fire, there are living entities that can survive. And then when we study verse or text like the graduate study to the Bhagavad Gita, which is called the Srimad Bhagavatam, then it talks about on the sun planet, there are living entities there as well. And there are other planets which are occupied by this one is occupied by a lot of water, but there are entities that live within that. And they're still figuring out different species within this planet. So, and that's just this universe. In the postgraduate study to the Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, it talks about this is the smallest of the universes. And other universes are much bigger. And not just that, but there's even more living entities within that one. And we're not talking about human beings, because there's only 1 billion of us on this planet. 8 billion?
8 billion.
But we are outnumbered by the living entities on this body that we can't see. The different, the microorganisms.
Each of ourselves make us us.
So we have not just in our body, within the body, so many beings. And each being, according to the Vedas, which is this body of knowledge, has a soul. So we are our own universe. So Krishna's explaining that I'm the father of all these universes. And sometimes it's very hard to fathom this idea, because we only consider this human body as the most important, because we occupy this body. We occupy this mind. But this mind, and just to be very clear, Krishna is only explaining these things just to get to the point where he can explain what are the modes of material nature, because that's what this chapter is about. That each living entity has certain conditioning. And certain conditioning is based on their relationship with the modes of material nature. And it's not just this human form of life that Krishna's talking about, because Krishna's talking about a very broad perspective. He's not talking about a narrow perspective. There's some people that think that just human beings are the most important and that we should focus on them. But actually everything requires importance or attention. So Krishna's saying that of all, he says, I'm the seed-giving father to this entire cosmic existence. And this is really important, because we have so much that we need to understand about just ourselves as it pertains to this existence. So what I was saying is that a little earlier is that as Krishna is giving this information to Arjuna, Arjuna is developing more and more trust and faith into Krishna's words. Because as we develop more knowledge, we not only appreciate that knowledge, but we appreciate the one giving us that knowledge. And that helps us to develop some level of gratitude, but also the ability to fully trust that person. And Krishna, of all people, is very trustable. Krishna, does anybody remember what the name Krishna means?
All attractive.
All attractive. And so, in different traditions, God has different names based on those qualities. So Krishna is, to those who practice bhakti, Krishna is a very sweet name, because we understand that by saying Krishna, we are able to free ourselves from this binding nature that we're inhabited in right now, much faster than any other sound vibration. All sound vibrations matter. Let's be very clear. But there is some sound vibrations that when we say them, it has a very distinct impact. So when someone says, I love you, that sound vibration has a very distinct impact on us, especially if we know that person means it. And we can see that person means by their actions. So Krishna, to Arjuna, is his teacher. And so Krishna is explaining this very deep philosophical knowledge to him to allow him to break free of the bonds of material nature. Does anybody remember what those three modes are called of material nature? Sattva? Tamas? Rajas, yes. Goodness, passion, and ignorance, yes. So this is the English translation. So sattva is goodness. Rajas is passion. And tamas? Ignorance. Or lethargy, you know. So these three elements, which are like the three primary colors that give so much, that create any kind of scene in our reality, are what is affecting us right now. These three. These are the gunas. These are, the gunas are explained as ropes which bind the living entity. And as in the verse, when Krishna says that it should be understood that all species of life, O son of Kunti, are made possible by birth in this material nature. And I'm seeing giving father, this material nature, the reason why we take a particular body is because of the guna, or the primary gunas that we have developed in our past life. We take birth in a particular family because of those gunas. We have a particular consciousness because of those gunas. So Krishna is saying that everything you see right now is a combination of those material nature interacting with each other. And you, as the living entity in this, I mean, he's speaking to humans, but you in this human body have your body, your mind, your family, your relationships because of your past consciousness. And it is our future consciousness which gives us our future relationships, our future body, all these things. So as we go deeper into this science, because science means what? That there is some hypothesis and there's a procedure. And ideally that procedure should get us to that result. So bhakti is that ability to utilize the information and get a particular result. And bhakti is very universal in the sense of, depending on if you are primarily steeped in the mode of tamas, then you are going to, there are aspects of the Vedic literature that are going to call you more. If you are in the more of passion, there are going to be certain activities within the Vedas which are going to pertain to you. But those who practice bhakti, they are only concerned about love and how it pertains to us in relationship with the divine. This is how we fully gain that information in the mode of goodness, is through understanding what Krishna is saying right now. Because we all want to be loved. Maybe some of us may not say it out loud, but we all want to be loved. So this mode of sattva, before I go any further, does anybody know what the Vedas are?
Collection of books.
Okay, what kind of books?
Teachings?
Okay, what kind of teachings?
Left behind are those who journeyed ahead, farther down the path of enlightenment.
Okay, let's. Okay. Well,
Ancient spiritual knowledge.
okay, about what though?
Pastimes, the
Okay.
the self,
Okay.
soul in the relationship with the Supreme.
So, yes. So the Vedas are considered a body of knowledge that discusses everything from how people like eating to sleeping to how to construct buildings, how to there's what's called Purusharthas, which means Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Dharma is the Dharma means the intrinsic nature of something. So like the intrinsic nature of sugar is what?
Sweetness.
Sweet. The intrinsic nature of water is
Wet.
liquidity. Yes. So the Dharma of the soul is what?
Love.
Eternal?
Eternal, yes. Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So eternal, full of bliss and knowledge.
Full of what?
Bliss,
Bliss and not bliss.
And
bliss
knowledge.
and knowledge.
Bliss and knowledge.
Yes, yes.
Sorry.
So the Vedas talk about the Dharma, Artha, or like that, which is like those things which we acquire in our life. Get a good job, make money, family, things like that. And then you have moksha, and then and the kama, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. So kama is like sense gratification, how to gratify our senses. Depending on where in our level of consciousness we are, the Vedas explain based on this level, if you're in a mode of tamas or ignorance, this is how you gratify your senses, but raise them. If you're in a mode of passion, gratify your senses, but raise them. If you're in a mode of goodness, gratify your senses, but raise them. Until you get to pure goodness, which is Sudasattva. And then to the point where you're liberation, where you're free from, you're no longer shackled to this existence. Your consciousness is no longer shackled to this body, no longer shackled to this designation of whatever. So the Vedas talk about these things in their entirety. Like, it's explained the Vedas could fill the biggest library and surpass that. That's how vast the Vedic wisdom is. And so the condensed version of the Vedas is called the Srimad Bhagavatam. And that is a graduate study of the Bhagavad Gita. So right now, I'm explaining all these things so we can understand this is not just, I'm not just speaking without reference. Like the Vedic literature is millions of years old. Orally, it's been going on, I mean, this universe is explained to be 311 trillion years. And in this time period, this oral reception of the Vedas has been, written reception of the Vedas has been going on for 5,000 years. So Krishna's explaining this information to those beings who want to develop some level of enlightenment. To understand that, yes, you are a human being, you're a spiritual being having a human experience. So Krishna says, I am the seed-giving father of everyone. So before I go any deeper, any thoughts, reflections, challenges?
You had mentioned with the material gratifications, having them but elevating yourself as well. Can you give some examples of what that looks like in the modes as far as gratifying those material desires but also elevating yourself in the process?
So it's explained in the Vedas. We'll talk about the idea of ahimsa. Ahimsa means nonviolence, right? And in a lot of traditions, you see nonviolence. It may not be called nonviolence, but you treat your neighbor, so like so. So because we have to eat, in the Vedas it explains that there's a hierarchy of what should be eaten. And if someone wants to engage in eating flesh, then one can do so in a way that elevates their consciousness. So I forgot the term in Sanskrit, but if someone wants to eat a goat, for example, then one should kill that goat, and before one kills the goat, one explains, I'm killing you, so in my next life you can take my life. Because everything is understood as energy, and energy transfers. So in the Vedas, it explains, like, if you're going to eat something, if you're going to drink something, if you're going to drink alcohol, do it a certain way. Don't stay at that way, but through the process of gradually understanding that you're not this body, you're also going to strive for higher. So, and that's just how one eats or how one sleeps. So there's many things that are recommended depending on one's level of consciousness. And one in the mode of passion, if you, for example, want to have multiple partners, Vedas explain, well, it's okay to have a partner, but be serious about that one partner. Don't just throw this life energy away that's so vital in the body of, in your body. Don't just throw it away randomly, but direct it somewhere. So that's why marriage or a very intimate relationship, a stable relationship is recommended.
What is it like when you, what is an example of when you've attained a level where your consciousness is not reliant on your body?
Say that one more time.
You said something about attaining, being able to have your consciousness not be reliant on your body. What would that look like?
So to be very clear, while we are in this physical form, we must take care of this machine. It is a biological machine we have to take care of. So we have to eat, we have to sleep. If we have family, we have responsibilities, these things. However, and this is a beautiful question because Arjuna, who is being one of the main persons in the Bhagavad Gita, he asked Krishna, what is the nature of someone who has attained a level of consciousness which we would consider like superhuman? And Krishna explains that someone who attains this level of superhuman consciousness does not become disturbed by that which may be agitating to others. Meaning, like if someone calls you, hey, you're bald or whatever, and you're like,
Thanks, I didn't notice.
Or, something like that. But like you acknowledge that and see what they're saying as that too, but you, instead of being angry, you pray for that person, like whatever, or you send good intention and good energy to that person. Because ultimately, we're all a reflection of each other. Whatever I don't like in someone is something within myself.
In another way, kind of transmute their energy in a beneficial way for them.
Yes. And also for yourself as well.
True.
But the idea of being able to be in situations which are agitating, and it could be good agitation, like you won $1 million, but someone who is actually a yogi, an actual yogi, does not, if they win, they somehow find $1 million, they're not any happier or any sadder than they were the moment before.
It's a different state of being. It doesn't actually.
Oh, you can finish your thing. I had a question about tangential.
I was just saying, like, it's a different state of being, essentially, correct?
Consciousness, yes. Being, I guess, I use both synonymously, so yes.
So you're kind of touching on the idea of that level of awareness of consciousness in that everything is both present but also kind of ephemeral, both here and there, and while things can happen, they kind of always will happen and continue to kind of happen into perpetuity. when saying to be the same in good and bad, does that mean, in your understanding, to divorce yourself from the feelings of the body that you inhabit? Or to appreciate them, but then also understand that that is kind of an ephemeral thing as well?
Understanding that this is an experience and that this experience in itself is temporary, but it's valid.
Okay. Cool.
What about achieving that state where you might notice your reaction, but you take a step back and you can change that reaction at that point?
This is a very high level, and this is possible through association, because association dictates how you perceive things.
Association?
Correct. Association, who you hang around.
Oh.
Yes, that kind of association.
And I can add on to that as a personal testimony. There's been a few times in the last 6 months where I've not been here for a week or two, and I have anger issues. I have my whole life. Because I have trauma, like childhood dysfunction, and my anger will come out more easily if I'm not here for 2 weeks. Like, and it's hard for me to control it, or to like see it and put a stop. So, and that association is in being here around everyone,
But all I was going to say is, association is what allows us or what disables us from elevating our consciousness. So if we're associating with individuals who do not have higher standards of themselves, then how are we supposed to do it? Especially if on the energy level, we draw from other people's energy. So if you're drawing from someone's energy who has no discipline, how are you going to develop discipline? You going to say something?
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, if you have any like practical methods, because I know that understanding that the knowledge is one thing. It's easy to understand that, okay, yeah, you're not the body, and that we just have an experience. But the application of the knowledge is the hard part. So, you go through your day-to-day, for lack of a better word, you might find yourself getting lost in the sauce, and you find yourself really identifying with the body and your ego and the circumstances that you go through, and you kind of forget the knowledge based off of the feelings that you have. Do you have any like practical ways that you can work your way out of that?
There's the mantra that we chant, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. This is a life hack, because you can be anywhere, in the bathroom, you can be in the car, you can be anywhere, and you can just very low enough to just so you can hear it at a whisper. And if you're feeling agitated, if it's a good agitation, a bad agitation, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, and even you can even take it a step further. There are mantra beads, they're called japa beads. You can do that on the japa beads, and that you don't have to change anything about what you're currently doing. You just add that. You add that special ingredient to your life at any time. And if you want to enhance that, if you want to enhance the potency of it, be present in high vibrational association. Because we mentioned energy, and the beauty of energy is that when you're around it long enough, you become part of it. So as you associate with these kind of individuals, or if you find another community that's like, it's encouraging you to go within and also expand the heart region, meaning your ability to love, your mind to think more, be more open-minded, your desire to serve. If it increases that sensation, then that's the community. That is that association which, when you're in the moment of man, I really want to, say this to this person, or I really want to just do this to this person, then it is the remnants of that association which will remind you, it's not worth my time. It's not even worth my thought. It's not even worth my emotions. And this is the beauty of having good association.
And it's a really good point. I remember hearing someone say, show me who your friends are, and that will tell me who you are. We are, whatever our association, we're part of it. It's like an energy, you're passing energy back and forth. But the other thing about saying the Maha Mantra is that I've had situations where, and you're going to have them, no one is actually perfect, otherwise you wouldn't be in these bodies. But I've had situations where, anger issues, you never know when someone's going to do something to trip a nerve. And what I try to remember is I try to chant, even if it's not strong, like you were doing quietly, I'll just do it. And all of a sudden, over time, it kind of eases up the issue and stress, and you're no longer at that point where you want to react. It's a very powerful mantra. Otherwise, why would you be saying this? And 24 hours a day, it's on your mind. Chanting, it has a potency. I mean, you could go around saying Coca-Cola and constantly, you got nothing. This is totally different. It's from a higher realm.
And
What's the mantra?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. This is what we were chanting earlier. This is that mantra.
You say it enough, you can memorize it.
Yeah.
Yes,
And the thing
yes,
is, you don't even have to take our word for it. You can try it
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Science.
Yeah.
It's a test.
And because this is why it's considered a yoga science, is because the result is you will be much more at peace mentally, physically. You will feel more in control of at least yourself. You can't control anybody else. That's something, that we don't do that kind of yoga here. But this chanting has a superior effect on the consciousness if done. Just try it for a week and stop, cold turkey, and see what happens. Like, you'll notice, like, it's a difference.
Call it the Maha Mantra. What does Maha mean?
So mantras, who knows what mantra means?
Spoken verse.
Hmm?
It's like spoken verse.
Yes. Yeah, but what is it, like the Sanskrit? So mana means the mind. Tra or triate means to free. So that which frees the mind is called the mantra. Maha means great. So the great mantra is the Hare Krishna mantra. Because within those three words, Hare Krishna and Rama, comprise all the potency to effect one or enhance one's mental situation, spiritual situation, out of this bondage to enlightenment, to freedom.
What about mudra?
Mudra, these are symbols in which one can do with their hands. And these, they have importance. However, the sound vibration is more efficient because sound, that vibration impacts on a cellular level. But mudras in any type of ceremony, any type of Vedic ceremony, have importance.
It has to do with energy flow, right?
Correct.
And over time, depending on on your intensity in understanding and chanting the Maha Mantra. The Maha Mantra is stronger than any mudra you could ever do. You could just chant whatever mudra you want accomplished. It can be done. But I mean, we really shouldn't want those things, but I'm just saying that all of that can be covered just by chanting the Maha Mantra. It's so simple. You know, sometimes the most simple things are complicated, but that's just how potent and powerful it is.
But just to be very clear, if you're going to use mudras, one should understand what they do. Because there's science behind all these things. Some things that a person wears has impact. I mean, different colors we wear on our body have impact. Different cloths. All these things have impact. So when we talk about mudras in the realm of like the yoga realm, we should understand what will the specific mudra do for my mental constitution. And what is my motive behind doing this? Because, and we're going a little over, so I'll say this, and we can always talk after we eat, but while we're eating. But because the Vedas are so vast, there's so much information, and sometimes it's very easy to get lost in the sauce. But in reality, for those who want something tangible, something long-lasting, something permanent, it comes from developing, raising our consciousness, ultimately connecting through yoga, which means connection, to the divine consciousness. And that will give us happiness. And not so much, and not even like, the happiness doesn't plateau when we're talking about this level or this exchange of love. It continues to increase. There's no plateau. So in the yoga path, there's many different ways in which one can develop enlightenment. But in the bhakti path, that enlightenment is through love, which is what everybody's wanting. So hopefully that answers your question. If it doesn't, I'll try to do better next time.
There's books you can get on Amazon that'll tell you more information about the mudras and everything.
Yeah. Make sure those books have not just what they are, what they do,